Skydiving Ghost Part 9. Forge of the Fallen. Leaving the cool, salt-sprayed mists of the coast felt like leaving a dream and waking up in a furnace. The transition was violent. As we flew inland toward the cinder peaks, the air turned yellow with sulfur and thick with soot. This wasn't a place where things lived, it was a place where things were forged. The cinder peaks weren't just mountains, they were open wounds in the earth. Great rivers of lava crawled down the slopes like glowing caterpillars, and the sky was a permanent bruise of charcoal gray. This was the domain of the fireborn, those who had been touched by the flare while near deep earth mines or foundries. They didn't have the grace of the waterkin or the patience of the root keepers. They were raw, flickering energy contained in shells of blackened, cooling slag. As Leo and I touched down on a ledge of volcanic glass, the heat hit me like a physical punch. My aerial form began to shimmer and distort, the softness becoming harder to maintain as the rising thermals tried to tear me apart. "Who dares bring cold air to the hearth?" a voice roared. A figure emerged from a curtain of falling ash. He was terrifying. His skin was the color of a dying coal, cracked in 1,000 places to reveal a blinding orange glow beneath. He stood 7 feet tall, his hands ending in fingers that dripped liquid fire. This was Ignis the Archburner. "We aren't here for your heat, Ignis," I shouted over the roar of a nearby lava vent. "We're here for your fury." Ignis stepped closer, the ground melting slightly beneath his feet. "Fury is all we have. The flare took our homes and gave us a hunger that never ends. We consume to exist. Why should we waste our breath on your sister's stone mountain?" "Because she's building a tomb for the sun," Leo said, stepping forward. He didn't look intimidated. The boy who survived a power plant didn't fear a little heat. "Elena is building a canopy of violet glass over the entire continent. She calls it the fix. But once that glass is set, it will filter out the radiation that keeps you alive. She's going to starve you, Ignis. She'll turn your fires into cold ash to power her own lights." Ignis hissed, a sound like water hitting a hot frying pan. Bold words for a spark plug in a breeze. But the fireborn follow only the strongest flame. "Our law is the law of the forge. Only that which cannot be melted is worthy of respect." He raised a glowing hand, and the lava river beside us surged. A massive glob of molten rock rose into the air, hovering between us. "Prove you can withstand the core or leave this place in cinders." He didn't wait for an answer. He threw the molten mass. I didn't dodge. I couldn't. If I let it hit the ledge, the explosion would kill Leo. I did the only thing I could. I became a vortex. I spun my aerial essence into a tight, high-speed funnel, creating a centrifugal shield of air. The lava hit my outer edges and was whipped around the circle, held in place by the sheer force of the wind. I felt the heat blistering my spirit, the friction of the liquid stone grinding against my atoms. "Leo. Now." I gasped. Leo didn't hit the lava with a bolt. He reached out and absorbed the thermal energy. He acted as a heat sink, drawing the calories out of the molten rock through the air itself. Inside my vortex, the orange glow began to fade. The liquid turned to red, then to a dull, cooling gray. Within seconds, the deadly glob of lava had been spun into a perfectly smooth, solid sphere of obsidian. I let it drop. It shattered against the ground like glass. Ignis stared at the fragments. The fire in his chest flared brightly, then settled into a low, respectful hum. "You didn't just survive the flame," Ignis rumbled. "You mastered it. You turned the forge against the smith." He looked toward the peak of high tide, his eyes glowing like twin furnaces. "The mountain has stood too long. It is time for it to melt. The fireborn will march. We will be the heat that cracks the stone. We will be the lava that flows through the halls your sister thinks are safe." He reached out a burning hand. I didn't take it, I would have vaporized, but I bowed. "We have the wood, the wave, and the flame," I said, feeling the weight of the alliance. "But we're missing the heartbeat. We need the conduits, the humans who are being used as batteries. We need to find their hidden camps and bring them to the fold." "Then you seek the grid walkers," Ignis said, pointing toward the ruined industrial outskirts of the old cities. "They hide in the shadows of the power lines. But be careful, Ariel. The conduits are broken people. They don't trust the wind and they fear the fire. To them, power is a curse." "I know," Leo whispered, his blue light flickering softly. "I'll talk to them. I know exactly what it feels like to be a prisoner of your own skin."